Listen into Randhir Jaiswal, the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs. I'll get you more on the story.
We've seen reports, or several reports on it, and have been following related events. In every democracy, there has to be the right balance between freedom of expression, sense of responsibility and public safety and order. Democracies in particular should display this understanding in regard to other fellow democracies. After all, we are all judged by what we do at home and not what we say abroad. We are always in touch with Indian students, and as and when there are issues which have to be resolved, we'll look into it.
Ambassador Sajjanhar, what do you make of India's response? India telling the United States of America, after all, we're all judged by what we do at home and not what we say abroad.
No, that's very right, Gaurav. And I think there have been a number of instances where we have found that there have been several uncalled for remarks coming in from the US government, and I'm not talking only about the media. Media, of course, says what it wants to say. Much of it might be factually inaccurate. Much of it might be their own wishful thinking as to what they would like, even as far as the elections that are going on in India, their own perspective, etc. But on these particular issues, as far as, even on issues like backsliding of the alleged backsliding of the Indian democracy, as far as some of the internal developments that take place and which those developments are entirely according to the law, and we have a very independent judiciary and a very robust media. So under these circumstances, comments coming in from the United States and some of the other democracies, I think they are unwarranted and uncalled for.
Fair enough, but if I could come back to the story today, the protests that are taking place and the armed police that have been used, Sushant Sareen, some of the slogans according to the American media, and Anna, I want you to weigh in on that. Al-Qasim, you make us proud, kill another soldier. There is only one solution, Intifada is the solution. Sushant Sareen, now, is this just, maybe one or two slogans being grossly exaggerated, as Anna says?
So here is the question. If these are one or two slogans which have been grossly exaggerated, and this has been happening for over a month now, maybe even longer, what has been the action which has been taken against people who have been shouting these slogans or who have been intimidating Jewish students? We've seen what has been happening to Hindu students, but let's keep that on the side right now. Whatever, and look, don't give me some self-loathing kind of people who are ready to side with the other side and say that, okay, fine, we are perfectly fine with these protests. Don't give me that. We've seen enough of that in India as well. Tell me what is the action which has been taken against those people who have been uttering these hateful slogans. I don't think any action has been taken, which is why many of these administrations...
Anna, you want to quickly respond to this? There are slogans, according to reports in the US media, that says, kill Jews.
Yeah.
There are some who say that if $80,000 a year is being spent on these courses and classes are being cancelled and going online, that's being unfair to students who paid big money to study.
Yeah, I mean, I have been here since Wednesday. I've been staying here through the night every single day. I have not once seen a single sign that says kill Jews. I saw that sign that you mentioned. The person who held it disappeared immediately, and the JVP, which is the Jewish Voice for Peace organization that they claim to be a part of, said that they did not recognize the student. So I think, it's a long U.S. tradition of counter-protesters infiltrating protests to undermine them. I can't speak to that sign in particular, but I can say that the sentiment of 99.9% of people in this encampment and on campus is cooperation with Jewish people. I also think it's really important to distinguish between Judaism and Israel. The Jews who are in here, and I'm not participating, but as a Jewish person myself, I I find that there's a very strong division between Jewish identity and Israeli identity. Those are not the
Fair
same
enough. I will let that be the last word on this part of the show because I've run out of time. But in the days and weeks ahead, we'll be tracking this story very closely, and the Ministry of External Affairs made it very clear they are in touch with students, Indian students who are in the United States of America.